it was definitely a factor, but ultimately something I couldn't control. I think I had definitely some tough moments in that.
Alex Eala just dethroned the defending champion, 6-2, 7-6. And it was not even that close. Drop a Philippine flag right now, because Alex Eala is in the quarterfinals of the Mubadala DC Open, and the way she got there is something we need to talk about immediately. Let me tell you what just happened. Leylah Fernandez, the defending DC Open champion, the 2021 US Open finalist, one of the most dangerous players in the game on her best day, came into this match having won this title before on this exact court. She knows Washington, she knows how to win here, and she had already beaten Alex Eala in Stuttgart earlier this year in straight sets. From every angle you could draw up, Fernandez had the edge. Experience in this tournament. A win over Eala already on the record this season. Home court comfort on American hard courts. Alex Eala took none of that into account. First set, 6-2, not a close 6-4, not a tight 6-3. 6-2. She went through Fernandez like she was not even there. She broke early, she stayed clean on serve, she dictated the rallies from the first game, and she made the defending champion look like she had no answers. Leylah Fernandez, who had been bulletproof in Washington when she won this title, who feeds off crowd energy better than almost anyone on the tour, who had beaten Eala earlier this season, could not find her game in the first set against Alex Eala. The forehand was not landing, the serve was not winning free points. Nothing was clicking. Because on the other side of the net, Eala was clicking on everything. The first set was almost uncomfortably one-sided. 6-2, second set, and this is where the story gets even better. Fernandez is not the kind of player who folds when a first set goes badly. She has been in tough moments at Grand Slams, in 5-setters that have gone deep into a third hour. She battles. She came back into the second set, leveled things up, made it competitive, and forced a tiebreak. A tiebreak where, if she could just find one moment of brilliance, one of those signature Fernandez winners that makes stadiums explode, she could force a third set and flip the whole match. Eala won the tiebreak 7-1. 7-1. That is not winning a tiebreak. That is ending an argument. When a player takes a tiebreak 7-1, it means the opponent won a single point in the entire breaker. Just one. Fernandez, the player who came back from 2-1 down against Medvedev at the 2021 US Open, the player who never backs down from a fight, won 1 point in that tiebreak against Alex Eala. Think about what kind of mental state you have to be in to produce that. There is no nerves in a 7-1 tiebreak. There is no second guessing. There is just absolute, total belief in your own game, executed under pressure against the defending champion. That is who Alex Eala is right now. The final score, 6-2, 7-6, straight sets. Defending champion eliminated. Alex Eala is in the quarterfinals of the DC Open in Washington, D.C. Now let's talk about what this means in the context of the season, because this run is starting to take on a shape that is genuinely historic. 3 days ago, she was a set and a breakdown against Zheng Qinwen, a former world number 4. And she came back to win 4-6, 6-4, 6-1. Now today, she has walked into a match against the defending champion and not only won, but dominated from start to finish. She did not need a comeback. She did not need a third set. She came out, took control, and executed. This is what elite hardcourt tennis looks like. This is not a player hoping to sneak through. This is a player in form. A player whose level has gone up and has stayed there. 6 wins across Berlin, Wimbledon, and now Washington over the past 2 months. Rybakina, Svitolina, Swiatek, Serena, Zheng, Fernandez. 6 of those wins are against players who are or have been inside the top 10 in the world in the same calendar year, on 3 different surfaces. At this point, the question is not whether Alex Eala belongs at this level. The question is how far she goes. And dethroning a defending champion is not something that happens by accident. It requires a very specific mentality, a willingness to go into someone else's house, their title-winning court, and play without fear. Fernandez has history at this tournament that Eala does not have. Fernandez has a title here. And none of that mattered. Eala played like she had already won this tournament before. That is the confidence of a player who has been beating the best players in the world all season long and knows exactly what she is capable of. Which brings us to the quarterfinals. And the draw handed her something extraordinary. Her quarterfinal opponent comes from the match between second seed Alina Svitolina and qualifier Polina Kudermetova. And here is the thing about that. Svitolina was the second seed in this tournament. And Svitolina is also the exact same player Alex Eala beat in Berlin just a few weeks ago, in straight sets, in the Berlin semifinals, in one of the defining moments of her grass court swing. If Svitolina advances and it becomes Eala versus Svitolina again in the Washington quarterfinal, that is a rematch of one of the best matches of the year. Alex has already shown she can beat her. She knows she can beat her. And that psychological edge matters enormously at this stage of a tournament. But whether it is Svitolina or Kudermetova across the net, Alex Eala is going to show up. Because she is not the kind of player right now who needs a favorable draw to win. She just beat a former world number 4 from a set and a breakdown. She just beat the defending champion in straight sets with a 7-1 tiebreak. She is in form, she is locked in, she is playing the best tennis of her career, and she is doing it on the surface that leads directly to the US Open. Let's talk about the tournament picture from a WTA 500 perspective too. When you win a WTA 500 event, or even go deep in one, the ranking points add up fast. Eala has already banked second-round points from this event. A quarterfinal would be the biggest result of her career on a hard court. A semifinal or final would dramatically push her closer to the top 20. And the US Open draws seedings directly from rankings at the time of the event. Every match she wins here does not just matter for this week, it matters for Flushing Meadows. And the momentum of this hard court swing is building exactly the way you dream it would. She came to Washington as a Wimbledon fourth rounder, world number 28, someone who had never played in this tournament before. She beat Zheng Qinwen from a set and a breakdown. She beat Leylah Fernandez in straight sets with a dominant tiebreak. She has not dropped a set in her last 2 matches. She is in the last 8 of a WTA 500 in her first ever appearance at this tournament. And Toronto, Cincinnati, and the US Open still lie ahead. The Filipino community in DC, in Virginia, in Maryland, they have been filling that stadium. The tournament chairman already said before the tournament began that 80% of all ticket inquiries were about when Alex Eala was playing. Well, she just won 2 matches in a row, and she is still here. Every match from here is a quarterfinal or better. Every match from here is history being made. She came to Washington to play tennis. She is going to leave Washington having made a statement that echoes all the way to New York. And that is the arc of this 2026 season that is becoming impossible to ignore. A player who started the year finding her footing. A player who came through the grass court swing like a force of nature. Birmingham title, Berlin semifinal, Wimbledon 4th round, Swiatek scalp. A player who flew home to a presidential citation, a hero's welcome at NAIA, her name in the president's SONA. And then walked into the United States and immediately started demolishing the tournament. She is not here to make up numbers. She is not here to collect experience. She is here to win.